Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Barakatah Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops here at Great Millstone. Shalom to you, brothers. Just pushing the work in truth with all sincerity. The name of this lesson is I Can Only Imagine What Comes Next. In this video I'm about to play, there's two agents about to arrest this guy for speaking out against a politician, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But that politician, like many politicians, are in bed with the technocrats. So essentially, he's speaking against the data centers that's going up. And what you're about to see and what we're seeing here is just light intimidation. But they actually about to charge this man. Okay, what comes after this, we can only imagine. But we know, censorship, bank account, your bank account being frozen, and this is the crackdowns, arrests. All right. Okay, because whether people like it or not, this age is what they're calling it, the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, which they're going to transfer over to the fifth. Okay, they're setting up control grids all over Babylon. Okay, the New World Order is about mass surveillance, is about police state, is about essentially uh, uh, mass produce efficient ran oppression on the poor. Okay. And they believe that, these data centers that's going up and that they're putting up is more valuable than people. And in a sense they are, because these Babylonians, these Americans are very, low level, you know, as they call them, useless eaters, but yeah, let's get into it. And then, I got my precepts, Lord willing, this is edifying. Okay. So here we go.
Here came by because I'm trying to organize a community protest against a representative who's trying to push in a data center owned by a out-of-state company trying to suck up all our energy. I made a post. I made an event on Facebook trying to organize the community to get together. And what's your badge number? Name and badge number?
Detective Henson.
And name and badge number?
Sure. SHRP and it's 160.
Okay. Yeah. No, I have a First Amendment right to protest, and if
No, you don't. No, you don't. That's out the window, Um, the people have absolutely no more protections, okay? Because they're coming and they're swooping in, and they took all those protections away. And your local, from the local politicians all the way to the Capitol, all right, they are in bed with the technocrats, all right, and we know who the technocrats are, okay. This is, Esau's is, his final, how can you say it? His final move to, establish his world, I guess you could say, for lack of better words. Okay, you're not going to stop. They're not going to stop this from happening. And a lot of people are really disillusioned. They really don't know what's coming, and they did, like, the blow has already hit them. They haven't reacted to it yet. They have already been knocked out, and they absolutely don't even know where they at right now. Okay, because they're getting hit with so much of the data centers and all of these things that's happening, and they getting up from being flash knocked down, and they don't know where they at right now. They're trying to still figure out, is this the America, is this our America, and then they think about the Constitution. All of that's gone, man. You can forget about it, because the agenda is to bring in a new world order. And in order to bring in a new world order, mass surveillance, a police state, all right, they have to bring in the control grid, which are the data centers, okay, and other things like flock cameras, so they can efficiently run this, their oppression, so they can efficiently, uh, you know, uh, run oppression. Okay, this is the best way I can say it right now. Okay, so here we go.
If I organize a protest on a public road, there's nothing wrong with that. I sent an email to that representative, and I can show you the email. I never made a threat. I told no, this is my house, and I'm going to talk. You guys are on my property.
Yeah, all of all of this is coming to an end. You, especially you Edomites, trying to speak, trying to say, oh, this is my property and all of that. According to Agenda 21, according to their agendas, you own no property. You own absolutely nothing. And they made sure of it because they sold you out. You're politicians, that is.
Trying to intimidate me because I'm organizing a protest against a data center. Then why are you here?
Well, that's if you let me. Okay, so first off, do you want to talk about this?
Talk about what? There's nothing to talk about. I'm organizing a protest and I'm allowed to do that. It's a First Amendment protected activity.
110%.
Yeah.
The issue is some of the communication, the Facebook posts. I would disagree that there's.
I haven't made a single threat. Tell me what threat I made.
Okay, well, you know what you posted.
No, give me a quote me. Quote a threat, because I didn't make one. I'm organizing a protest on a public street, demanding a representative.
Safety of his children.
Huh?
What about the safety of his children?
Someone else made a comment about the safety of his children.
Did you?
No.
You didn't?
No, what I said if he valued his children's safety, he probably wouldn't be trying to ruin the world that they're being brought up on. And that isn't a threat. That's the fact that I'm watching this man ruin the world around here. And yes, I'm allowed to say that if someone cares about their kids, they shouldn't destroy the community that their kids are being raised in. That's not a threat.
The problem is you didn't say that in the post.
Yes, I did.
You did not.
Pull it up. Pull it up and read it.
Looked at it.
Pull it up and read it.
I've been dealing with this all afternoon.
Cool. Pull it up and read it.
Okay. So that's the concerning part is obviously, yes, you have the right to make an event, you have the right to public protest, everything else, right? But
I never made a threat.
Okay. Well, we disagree, and our state's attorney disagrees. Okay, so you're going to be charged today for a couple of offenses.
Seriously? I'm going to get charged for what?
For stalking and intimidation.
For stalking? When did I ever go to his house?
So we'll explain that to you more. Okay, so you are going to be placed under arrest right now, okay? All right.
Okay, let me...
Yeah, and this is them moving the goalposts, okay? And so they can arrest you for anything, all right? Especially if you're speaking out against, power structure of the establishment, okay? So, of course, there's more to come, all right? So I want to show you what the CEOs at these different companies are basically saying, okay? The brother gave me this article yesterday, Brother Uriah. So, it says U.S. law enforcement warns of anti-tech extremism as AI hatred grows. So these people are going to be called extremists because they're speaking against the elite agenda, which is to set in the control grid, which is the beast system, set up to give life unto the image of the beast. All right. So that's a prophecy. These people are not going to stop it. And these people have absolutely no clue what's hit them. Okay. And it's prophecy that this beast system is going to be given life, so to speak. Okay. And so what you think is going to happen? These people are going to get ran over. Okay. Yeah, so it says, as Americans stew over the looming risk of job stealing AI and data centers in their backyards, the feds are raising the alarm about a new category of threat. Documents obtained by Wire show. In the wake of attacks on CEOs and nationwide protest movement targeting data centers and increasing concerns about AI job replacement, federal intelligence agencies and domestic law enforcement are circulating reports with a new domestic target in mind: anti-technology extremists. See, that's what they call you now. Okay, if you're speaking out against what the infrastructure and what they're building on, okay, because this new world order is coming, and they don't value the human life anymore. These data centers are worth more. Okay, automation is more profitable than to pay someone, you know, whose body can break down. All right. So it says, yeah. So all those science fiction movies, right? It ain't fiction. It's reality. It became a reality. Right. More than 1,000 pages of unpublished reports from the Department of Homeland Security, FBI, and fusion centers obtained by Wired show a national shift taking place to surveil this new and worryingly broad category of people and activities deemed an emerging threat. This new effort follows President Nero, all right, National Security Presidential Memo 7, which instructs the Department of Justice to target anyone holding anti-American, anti-Christian, and anti-capitalist beliefs earlier this month. See, Trump. So that means what? If you speak out against, the data centers, that's the establishment. Okay, Trump's counterterrorism czar, Sebastian Gorka, released a public counterterrorism strategy claiming that left-wing extremists are one of the 3 top counterterrorism priorities facing the United States. See, yeah, they're not playing. All right, because what they're going to establish their new world order, and ain't nothing the average person can do about it. Okay, absolutely nothing. I want to play this video for you. Okay, because I mean it's in the same, pretty much the same category. The CEO of Flock, all right, the Flock cameras, all right, which are the AR cameras that can pick up your license plates, and they can see if you have a warrant, and they can find other information about you. Okay, yeah, the level of surveillance that this man is bringing is yeah, it's gonna be diabolical. Okay, because it's gonna allow him to efficiently oppress you, because they can send tickets. They can fine you, all type of stuff without even having to pull you over. That's what this is about. Okay. So check out what he says.
The CEO of Flock Safety just called DFlock a terrorist organization. Comparable to Antifa, apparently, their crime, mapping where surveillance cameras are. One commenter summed it up perfectly. Pointing cameras at people is law and order, but pointing cameras at cameras, that's terrorism. Another user...
Right, again, they're moving the goalposts. Okay, they're moving the goalposts. Yeah, because they're gonna get the desired effect of what they're putting in place. Okay.
Noted the playbook. Authoritarians always call their opponents terrorists. The CEO insists they're just fighting for democracy in court. With $658 million in VC funding, must be nice having that kind of firepower when you're totally not forcing surveillance on anyone.
Yep. And I wanted to get the video where he said it out of his own mouth. But let me see. Let me see something. Here we go.
Organizations like DFlock, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are
racist.
And then unfortunately there's terroristic organizations like DFlock, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else. And then unfortunately there's terroristic organizations like DFlock.
Yeah, so DFlock, we don't have to really get too much into it, but again, they're protesting against these AI driven cameras, okay, which can target your license plates from 2,000 yards away. They can fly drones going 60 miles an hour, okay, and they can pick up your license plates easy. And if you have a warrant, you have to, if you speed, they can give you a ticket. Plus, of course, other people, you got people that are using these cameras for nefarious reasons. All right, stalking people. You got a police officer that stalks someone. Okay, and other things. Okay, but as you can see, there's a shift. Okay, and nothing you can do about it. Okay, But what does this mean for us? Of course, because we are really the proponent, or we are uh, the opposition to this whole system being put in place anyway. Okay, we're the biggest threat because we have the truth. We got the Bible, and we have the living word, and that's why it's a big threat. Okay, and so what are they going to do ultimately? You can only imagine what comes next. Okay, um, censorship, bank accounts being frozen, just all out crackdowns, arrests. What we're seeing now is a light intimidation, but people are actually being charged. Okay, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, the politicians are being owned by the technocrats. The technocrats are building a control grid, mass surveillance, pre-crime, all of that stuff. Where they can arrest you based on, or ticket you based on, how you walk, how you looking, or whatever, stuff like that. Okay, and we know those systems that they're setting in place are flawed. All right, they got protection under the law, and they're going to use the law to go after whomever they see fit. Okay, so let's start here. I want to read Isaiah 10:1 in the GNT because this place is doomed. Because the works that the things that they're establishing is just outright wicked. Okay, so Isaiah 10:1, it says, "You are doomed. You make unjust laws that oppress my people." All right, and essentially that's what they're going to use it for. They're going to use the law to oppress people. Wisdom of Solomon 2:10, it says, "Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs or of the age." Right, and this is the wicked. All right. So verse 11, it says, "Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth." Right, and they look at us as worth nothing. We're worth nothing. And the data centers and stuff that they're building is way more valuable than human life. Okay, this is the rhetoric. This is the logic of these technocrats. Okay, going back here, Isaiah 10:1, "You are doomed. You make unjust laws that oppress my people. That is how you keep the poor from having their rights and from getting justice. That is how you take the property that belongs to the widows and orphans. What will you do when God punishes you? What will you do when he brings disaster on you from a distant country?" And that's going to be thermal, which okay, fire. All right. It says, "Where will you run to find help? Where will you hide your wealth?" Okay. And we know they got bunkers and stuff like that. But ultimately, the Lord is coming for you, and he's actually, he's gonna find you in those bunkers. All right. Right. Him right along with the angels. Okay. So let's see. I only got a few more precepts. All right. This is Isaiah 59 and 14. Okay. And this is just really, we focused on the elect. These people are going to catch hell, and they absolutely don't understand where they are right now. They are completely lost. But we know this has greater implications behind it. They're going to come after those who speak uprightly. Okay. Isaiah 59 and 14, it says, "Our courts oppose the righteous, and justice is nowhere to be found. Truth stumbles in the streets, and honesty has been outlawed." See, and as we can see, being honest is being outlawed. You can't even be honest no more. All right. Or they'll charge you. All right. So yeah, Isaiah 59 and 15. Yes, truth is gone, and anyone who renounces evil is attacked. The Lord looked and was displeased to find there was no justice. Right. So you ain't got to wonder why doom is coming upon this place. Okay. You ain't got to, you don't have to scratch your head at it. It's warranted. you know, and these elite, they brought it upon themselves. Okay, but they want to make everyone else suffer for it. Okay. So Amos 5 and this is in the NLT as well. All right, 5 and 10, it says, how you hate honest judges, how you despise people who tell the truth. You've trampled the poor, stealing their grain through taxes and unfair rent. Therefore, though you build beautiful stone houses, you will never live in them. Right. And we got right now, they're generating poverty. They're about to generate poverty by bringing in automation, which is going to take people's jobs away. AI is set up to take people's jobs away. Okay. All right. So they're going to produce and engineer poverty. And if you become poor, guess what? They can, in some places in Babylon, they can arrest you. They can put you in prison for not having your own home, but they're generating the poverty. You see how that works? Right? You see how unequitable that is. And the logic of it, it just doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to them because now they can utilize all of these, the prison industrial complex, you know, they can utilize, you know, they can generate misery, right? It's all about making people miserable. But we know the scriptures say, and great misery shall be upon those that in the latter times shall be. All right. Okay. Let me see something. Did I have more on this? Yeah, I did actually a verse. Well, yeah, 2nd Ezra 8 and 20 goes into it really quick because I only had that. So these few precepts, 8 and 50, not 8 and 20. 2nd Ezra 8 and 20, it says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Right. So the Lord is addressing your great pride, and he's using the devil to do his handiwork, to start to put the squeeze on you people. All right. And of course, it's going to be the squeeze. We're going to be in that, but we're going to understand why it's happening. Okay. We're going to actually understand. So Amos 5 and 11 again, you trample the poor, stealing their grain through taxes and unfair rent. Therefore, though you build beautiful stone houses, you will never live in them. Though you plant lush vineyards, you will never drink wine from them. Okay. And so, I mean, it's pretty much that. There you have it, you know. More oppression, more, you know, evil to come. And we told you it was only going to get worse, you know. So, yeah. Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom.